Mitt Romney used to be a governor of Massachusetts, and he's a Republican. And as this year for 2012 election, he's one of the candidates going for president. So, being a candidate, you need a lot of broad support as a candidate. And so the question is, how broad is Mitt Romney's support? But Mitt Romney does have a pretty decent amount of support on his side as of right now. So, when George Bush was president at 2008, he signed a No Child Left Behind Act. And before George Bush signed the No Child Left Behind Act, the students' test score were about 91% proficient at math, but when state standards when the states made up the state standards, only about 34% of students who got up to that standard level. So when Mitt Romney was governor of Massachusetts, he broadly favored about that No Child Left Behind policy, but he later changed his mind. So maybe people who goes against the No Child Left Behind policy, he probably gained some support, and yeah. The next thing is Mitt Romney being a candidate. So according to a GOP, to right is to the left. Mitt Romney, he's one of Perry's greatest rivals, and the big question was whether or not how the candidates are going to use Social Security. And when Mitt Romney heard about Perry's plan for Social Security, for wanting to abolish it, Mitt Romney attacks Perry's plan. Mitt Romney also says that he's going to use a democratic scare tactic for the Social Security plan, but none of the candidates actually explained why and how the Social Security plan is going to work. So probably in the future, when Mitt Romney releases his plan, then he would gain some support. The last thing is about the 2012 election. An article from The Economist, a reporter stated that the 2012 election is going to be the Republican Party to lose. But the quote from that article is that Mitt Romney is still polling. So because he was still polling, there's probably a lot of some supporters that would still support Mitch Romney. So in conclusion, the question was how broad was Mitch Romney's support. So because he changed his mind about the No Child Left Behind policy, he has gained support from the people who opposes the No Child Left Behind policy. And two, he wants some voters from the argument about how Social Security would work. A quote from the right to the left article is that all in all, Mitch Romney has a pretty good week, from quoted by Beth from theatlantic.com. And third, because he was still polling, he probably has he probably has supporters that would still support him. So he does. So Mitch Romney has a pretty decent broad of support.